Have you ever watched someone powerful and thought, wow, this person doesn't feel human? Like they are wearing empathy instead of actually having it. Most people we call sociopaths aren't actually clinical sociopaths. They are something scarier. A personality style that gets rewarded by the system. So today I'll show you the dark traits that get rewarded, the jobs that select for them, and how to spot the difference between a dangerous person and a dangerous incentive. Nowadays we have a tendency to overuse the word sociopath or psychopath, but we don't separate clinical from functional. And then we miss the real mechanism. Clinical psychopaths are rare, but functional dark traits are surprisingly common in high-status environments. So, if it's not always a pathology, what is it? First, let's look at narcissism. This is a hunger for status, obsession over your image, and pride and egotism, something like, I'm the hero of the story. Then we have Machiavellianism, which is putting strategy over sincerity, manipulation and exploitation. And then we have psychopathy, which is callousness or low performative empathy, antisocial behavior, impulsivity, and remorselessness. These traits don't automatically make someone evil, but put them in the right job, and they can become supervillains. And certain jobs are a magnet for these traits. Politics is performance under pressure. If your job is to be liked by millions, you learn to simulate closeness, and the people who can do it without burning out, they rise to the top. Now let's talk about finance, where empathy can become a liability. And that's not because you're evil, but because your job rewards decisions that are objective and can become unethical. So now the question becomes, how do you tell the difference between a person whose mind is broken and a person who's adapted? The clinical psychopath is the person who lacks remorse across contexts, not just at work, but everywhere. And this requires a clinical diagnosis by a medical professional. Now there is a professional adapter. This person can turn empathy on and off like a switch. They are not necessarily empty inside. They are optimized for a game that rewards detachment. Then there is a true believer narcissist. This is the person who believes their own myth. They don't feel like a villain. They feel like destiny and the world revolves around them. And this is why powerful people feel like sociopaths. So why does their behavior feel so aversive? That's because you're expecting human intimacy, but you are watching someone operate in a role where intimacy is a tactic. So your brain interprets it as a fake emotion. But that doesn't mean that they are lying entirely. It means that the incentive structure makes authenticity optional. So what do we do with this? Because it's not like we can opt out of politics and money. First, look for consistency across contexts. Are they cold only when the stakes are high? Or do they feel cold everywhere? Second, costly empathy. Do they ever choose empathy when it costs them something meaningful? And finally, look for transactional language. So you can identify this when they talk about humans as if they were just numbers. Or they are always framing every single person they meet as a winner or a loser. And every single thing they do, it has to be performed under certain strategy. This is how you can start seeing the game clearly. So you, yourself, become harder to manipulate. So the next time you're watching someone powerful, remember this. The problem may not be the person you're seeing, but the stage they are on. By understanding the system, we can start to demand something better. A world where decency, not darkness, is what leads. Politics is one of the areas where dark traits show up most. And when you find yourself disagreeing with someone on the other side, you may be surprised to learn that it has more to do with brain biology than what you think. If you want to learn more about this, watch my recent video on this subject, where I talk about some studies that give us a new way to look at our political divide. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.